Dana.
The controversy over manipulating crime data in D.C. is getting deeper. The U.S. Attorney for D.C., Jeanine Pirro, posting this. After a review of almost 6,000 reports and the interview of over 50 witnesses, it is evident that a significant number of reports had been misclassified, making crime appear artificially lower than it was. And Jeanine Pirro joins us now. It's so good to see you. Can you describe in general the scope and scale of what you think happened here?
Well, I think that there certainly was an effort to, misclassify, mischaracterize certain categories of crime. It was an attempt to make crime look lower than it was. And the investigation that we conducted over a period of several months based upon the report of the deflation of numbers was very thorough. As you indicated, over 6,000 reports were looked at, over 50 witnesses. And those witnesses were rank and file from the top down. But the bottom line here is this. Now we're in a situation with President Trump and the Attorney General Pam Bondi where every case is being looked at. Every case is being reviewed by my office. So if it appears that the arrest is lower than what the facts show, we're going to upgrade that crime. And Dana, what's amazing to me is that the U.S. Attorney before me in the Biden administration did not go forward with more than 65% of the arrests. That means that even if police made arrests, they weren't being prosecuted. In my office, we go forward with over 90% of the arrests. We review them, we look at them, we see if the evidence if the law and the evidence support the charging, and we go forward. And this really is a testament to the determination and the focus of the president in making sure that crime is down in our nation's capital. Because when crime is underreported, then police resources are not put in certain areas. And then as a result of that, people don't think they're being protected. They then don't report crime. Now everything has changed. In the period since we had the surge, homicides are down 65% compared to the year before. Carjackings are down 68%, and robberies are down 49%. We're making a difference, but it is a focus on law and order, and it's the federal partners coming in, and the people of the district deserve it.
Right. They do, and I hear it from friends of mine who live there. Many of them still live on Capitol Hill, and they say there is a difference, and they love it that Union Station is a place that they can go again and are not afraid to take their children. Let me talk about, Morbert, just your thoughts about some of these worldwide threats that we're seeing. I mean, you obviously knew very well and intimately the global war on terror, and it's not over. And you have incidents where you have, even yesterday in Los Angeles, the thwarting of a possible New Year's Eve attack. We see here about other New Year's Eve attacks against Western civilizations around the world.
And, when you look at all of that, people can come on and they can tell you that crime is down. But as you know, it's the perception. And it's the report that you just had a few minutes ago, Dana, where people think about Bondi Beach. People think about, look, I was just in Paris, and it's a beautiful city over the holidays. And they just canceled the New Year's Eve celebration in the Champs-Élysées because they're worried about a terrorist threat. So what's happening across the world is that people are starting to be fearful as they were years ago because of what we're seeing, because of the anti-Semitism. And then on the other aspect, you've got this global, the transnational narco-terrorist, where my office was actually involved in writing the warrant that was finally sized for the seizure of the seizure of that vessel, the skipper, off the coast of Venezuela, because this is an international focus on crime that is coming out of D.C. that's impacting Americans and the terrible narcotics trafficking that's affecting all of us. So, there is a need for law and order. There is a need for a president who's going to take it seriously, and President Trump is, and the Attorney General is. And we're seeing the benefits in terms of the numbers.
Well, may D.C. always have as energetic and passionate a crime fighter as you. Judge Jeanine, thanks for being here.
Let me say one thing. Andy Wolf, who was shot, the National Guardsman, I visited him in the hospital yesterday. He's doing great. He's having conversations. It is amazing. He's been lifted up by the prayers of America.
Thank you for the update. That is a
You're
Fox
welcome.
News alert we are happy to bring to everyone. Thank you so much, and Merry Christmas.
Dana. You too.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.